Well, howdy there, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Since I've been spending so much time on trip planning for a trip I'm taking in May, um, and it's been a complete disaster. And I would first say never fly with Spirit, but we'll get to that later. But since I've been spending so much time on this and thinking about the different financial ramifications of different decisions, different strategies, I figured I'd just go ahead and make a video on it. So the trip I'm taking, I have family in Northern California and friends in Southern California. So I was going to be flying on a connector flight to Las Vegas and then to Sacramento, and then getting a rental car, driving, and then driving down the state after I'm done seeing my relative, driving down the state to Southern California, and then spending time there, and then flying out. Again, connector flight to Vegas. Now, I've been flying with Spirit for probably 3 years, and I've never had a problem with them, but I've always heard other people complain about them. And I was always the one saying, oh no, give them a chance. They have, friendly staff, friendly flight attendants. They're cheap, which the saying goes, you get what you pay for. But I had never had an issue up until this disaster, which I'm about to get into. So what happened, I had 2 lines of credit with them. And because as you know, if you follow my channel, I do the credit card churning strategy. And so I had like probably 70,000 points between 2 accounts. So I had planned, this was going to be the last time I flew with them either way. Because what I do, I moved from airline to airline, basically. So I used to fly with Delta. I used all their frequent flyer programs and stuff. Then onto Spirit, and I'll probably go to like United or something next. But I had always kind of planned that this would be the last time I would use Spirit. And flight prices have gone up like everything else because of inflation. The fuel prices obviously hit the airlines hard and stuff. So, I mean, we've had not just that, but not all the headwinds coming from COVID and all of that. I'm starting to say that the recovery from COVID is actually worse than COVID itself. That's a crazy thought, but there's a saying, don't let the cure be worse than the disease. And it just seems like things have actually gotten worse. Like they're making people go back into offices. All the roads, especially where I live, all the roads are jammed all the time. There's just road work going on. Nobody's able to do things competently, it seems like. And it seems like the coming out of COVID or Rona is worse than the thing itself in a way. And I can't believe I'm even saying that. So what happened? So because I have 2 lines of credit with the airline, and hopefully this is a good video, but it's kind of, I guess, therapeutic for me to just talk this out anyway. And hopefully it's educational. So hopefully it's a win-win. But the 2 cards, I had booked flights back in January because I know flights always go up, especially if you're flying in the summer or close to the summer. Flights always go up the closer you get to that time. So I was proactive. I did what I was supposed to do, and I booked the flights in January. But because I had 2 different accounts tied to the credit cards on the Spirit website, I tried to merge them together when I booked one, because I'm doing a rental car too. So I'm not doing a round trip. I'm flying to one place, driving, and then flying out of another. So it's like 2 separate flights. So the points were on 2 different credit cards. So I was using points for 2 different flights. Once I exhausted the one, I closed the credit card and I tried to merge what was left onto the second one. And that's where we ran into trouble, the first start of trouble. So those points, they tried to merge the 2 accounts and they just got them all conjoined and messed up. And unfortunately, their customer service department is all in other countries, and it's like outsourced, and they try to be helpful, but it's like the phone reception is just horrible. They can't hear you. A lot of times they can't understand you. You have to call back. It'll get disconnected. I actually thought they were hanging up on me at first, but I think they're actually getting disconnected. And it's a complete mess. So for like 2 weeks in January, I had to get this sorted out. And finally got everything booked and resolved. But because it took 2 weeks, in the meantime, I had filed a complaint because I couldn't get through to anybody. There was nobody like US based to talk to. So I was at wit's end. I had lost like 50,000 points. And I'm like, well, I'm not just going to give those up. I mean, I did what I had to earn those. And the staff, when you fly, they eagerly push those cards to you. They say, oh, please sign up. It's so great. You get so many free flights. Well, not really. You're lucky if you even get one, with the way the prices have gone up, and you still have to come up with more money on top of it. But I had logged a complaint because I just was at wit's end. I didn't know what to do. And I think that was my biggest mistake, because I feel like they've like retaliated on me since then. Because what started happening, because like I said, in like mid-January, I thought I had this thing done, and I thought the amount of effort that went in was punishment enough. And I was like, please just, I need to just be, this needs to be over. But it wasn't. They started rescheduling the flights, and it was to the point, and I was just reviewing my emails here because I'm still working through all this, and this page you see will come into play at some point, because I'll get to that. But the points, like I said, because they had gotten, I guess, lost, I filed this complaint, and then they got the points resolved after I kept calling. I finally got the right person, but the complaint was still pending. There was no way for me to cancel it. So someone responded and all that. But since that person responded, my flight started getting changed like 5 different times. And then it came to a head just yesterday. I got a notice that my flight out was completely canceled. I'm like, well, how can you do that? Like 3 weeks out from a trip, how can you possibly do that? So I've been trying to brainstorm other solutions, and one of them, I'm changing the location of the rental car. And there's obviously these are significant financial decisions on a personal finance level, so I thought I would discuss it, because I always try to think down the road and come up with multiple solutions to a problem, because it just seems like the further along we go every year here, it's like things just get more complicated, and they become more complicated, and the solutions become harder and harder. So even as forward thinking as I am, it's still difficult sometimes, and I still just hit a wall sometimes. But one thing I thought, I was like, well, the car reservation that I had to where I was flying, I was like, well, so I went back to Spirit's site and I looked up, funny thing, the canceled flights. There was a connector flight from where I live to Vegas, and then Vegas to where I'm going. That flight is still there. And I just checked the seats on it, and almost all the seats are available. So it's like, what the heck? I mean, it's like they're just screwing with me at this point. And so what I'm thinking about doing is changing the rental car from where I was picking it up in Sacramento to Vegas, and then just driving that location instead of doing connector flights, because now that it's not one flight, there's going to be more luggage involved and all of that. And so I just thought, I'm just trying to think down the road, maybe if I just get the rental car in Vegas and then just drive, and I could just cancel the other flight and then just do a round trip to and from Vegas and then just drive. Because at this point, I promised people that I was coming, and I want to do this. And I mean, this was supposed to be a vacation. I really want this to just go through. But what's interesting, like I say, the personal finance decisions involved and all of these things. So I happen to be looking here at rental cars on Priceline from Vegas. And you can rent like an industrial grade cargo van for $29, but the gas mileage is kind of terrible. So I started to think, well, this is perfect for a video, because you've got your ramifications as far as fuel and transportation versus the cost of the car. So what's the offset? Do you want to pay $10 more per day for the car and get better gas mileage, or get the cheaper car with worse gas mileage? So you see, these are the type of like personal finance decisions that I thought it would be fun to just cover in a video. So that's where I was. That's where I was looking. like these are through Hertz Rent a Car here. And like this one is $40 a day, but it's better. You know, I'm sure it's better because it's a more economical car. I'm sure it's better in terms of fuel economy. And the funny thing is, and I've learned this too, like when you rent a car, getting it from the same place, like picking it up and returning it to the same place is cheaper than picking it up in one city and returning it to another. So I just found that interesting. I'll probably go with the $40 a day because the gas mileage is better. But I just thought I would kind of walk anybody that's interested in watching this through these types of personal finance decisions. And then on the flight, yeah, I was looking. Oh, they kicked me out. But just for fun here. Yeah, I was looking and I found the exact same flight from where I'm leaving from to Vegas. And it was there and most of the seats were still available, but it's gone now. I mean, it's not gone. I mean, the website kicked me out. I was going to look at that, but it's gone. But anyway, that's the gist of that. That was kind of probably all over the place, but just thought I would. I think this is a useful video. I mean, like planning a trip, planning a vacation as part of personal finance, credit card churning. This encompasses a few different topics. So if you like this, please remember to leave a like, smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much, and have a good weekend.